Okay, so let's continue. I was talking about the differences in terms of just relationship, but there's also differences, for example, in terms of your health. Now we all need to. There's two parts. There's two parts to the. I see two parts to the connections to the love part, love aspect of happiness. One of them is friendships, and one of them is family. Um, the thing is, you choose your friends, but you don't choose your family. And if you look at, you put yourself at the center of, let's say you put yourself at the center of on a page, you just write your name and you look at your circle. You draw a circle, and there's people around you. Okay, those people are your, for example, your parents, your brother, your siblings, your brothers and sisters, your cousins, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents. Okay, and you also have your friends. And the thing is there really a difference between the two in terms of the people? The thing is, you can't um, dictate, or you can't decide what somebody else is going to think, what kind of attitude they're going to have towards you or towards life. Um, their opinions, their thoughts, you can't control them. So that's true for anybody who's your friend or anybody who's a member of your family. Now, the thing is, should you have a family member in your life in spite of the fact that you're polar opposites, or you don't share at all the same opinions, or they're not nice people in according to your definition of what nice, of what kindness is? Should you have this person in your life? That's a question. My answer, the short answer, or my short answer to that question is no. You shouldn't have them in your life. You use the same criteria for anybody. You should be independent from anybody in your life, whether it's your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your friends, your family, your brothers, your parents. It's great if you have a great relationship with any one of those people, but if you don't, it's detrimental to your happiness. To have, for example, a brother or sister who yells at you, or who steals money from you, let's say, who's not, who breaks their promises, also abusive parents. Why have them in your life? You wouldn't do it if for a friend. You would just cut that friend off from your life. But people give special importance or special meaning to those relationships just because they're blood relationships. Um, that's detrimental to your happiness. You didn't choose how that person is. You can't decide how that person is going to be. You can tell them, I would like allow you to be this way. I like to have a relationship with you because you're my brother, my sister, my father, my mother. But you can't decide how that person is going to behave. So if you want to keep them in your life, that's to your detriment. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. It just is. It's like gravity. 9.81 meters per second squared. It just exists. You deal with it. The thing is with your parents, they are the way they are. Your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, they are the way they are, and you choose. You can choose. You can decide, I'm gonna have them in my life, or I'm not gonna have them. And some people have a tough time saying, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna split from these people. So it would be great if everybody were a very nice person, a very caring person, they cared for you, but it just isn't always the case. So those bonds with family can be very strong. When they're positive, they're absolutely, I would say the relationships with the parents are essential, but at some point, and you need them in order to develop healthily as a human being, as a child, as an infant, as a baby. But eventually, you can split from them, and you're probably better off for it until they change, which is probably very rare. So you have these two aspects in terms of connection, in terms of love. You have your family and your friends, and both are important. Those both types of relationships are important for your happiness. Now, moving on to the next step. Once you have that, that's your basis. That emotional basis is what you need in order to be happy, then you can build on that, the health. If you have no love, it's hard to be healthy. It's actually connected. I mean, your health, your emotion, there's two parts to health. It's emotional and physical. The physical you can control. You can do exercise. It's mainly about doing exercise. Basically about playing sports. And again, people live. That's the second layer. People live their health differently. Some people will smoke. Some people. Well, let's talk about the way you are healthy, right? Some people think you need to be vegan, you need to be vegetarian, you need to not eat meat, you need to eat. Some people take it further than others in terms of how they approach their health. Um, so people who live, and okay, in terms of exercise, people prefer volleyball, jogging, frisbee, football. So those are personal preferences, and they're probably all equally good. It's what works for you. But you do need to do exercise. Now there's the emotional health. The emotional health comes mainly from good relationships. If you have good relationships, you'll have good emotional health. If you have bad relationships, bad emotional health. Your work also influences your level of emotional health. If you're bored at work for 8 hours, if you're doing something that makes no sense, you just have to shut off your brain for 8 hours. That's not good for your emotional health. Um, what's good for your emotional health is, of course, great relationships, to not be stressed out, to be at work, to be challenged, um, to have interesting projects, um, to feel that your work is meaningful. Okay, so those are that's health, emotional and physical. Now the next, once you have those, now you can do amazing work. Once you have amazing relationships in your life and amazing health, you can do amazing work. You can you can probably still do amazing work without them, or maybe great work. But I think I can't prove this, but for the majority of people, I bet you do amazing work when you have those first two aspects covered. Okay. Now, so how do you get to doing great work? Um, for me, it's been planning. So people talk about being passionate about something, finding your passion, finding what you're meant to do on this earth. Okay, I don't see life this way. You're not here to do just one thing, and it's as if you were born and then some esoteric entity puts something inside of you, and you're supposed to find it. It's like this treasure that you're supposed to find somewhere. I don't see life this way. I think like you can be interested in a myriad of things. There's a plethora of subjects that you can explore, and those can become professions. I see life this way. For example, you live 100 years, okay, and it takes about 20 years to become an expert at something. And you can start off at let's say from 0 to 15. Your education should be about preparing you for life and to choose projects that you're going to work on. And every 20 years, you can change. You can have different projects. Okay, and you will not retire. There's no such thing. Retirement is not a natural thing. The word retirement is ubiquitous in this society, and people think that they have to retire. I mean, and they want to retire, but why? Because they hate their jobs. But I'll talk about retirement at the end and explain where it came from, because I suspect that this was not natural, and I went on the internet and I found out, yes, it is not natural. It was invented 120 years ago. You used to work until you died. It is no longer the case. Okay, I'll go back to um, happiness in a second. But first, I'm going to talk about work. Okay, so this is the way I see it. The first 15 years of life, um, you get introduced to a whole bunch of concepts about life. You learn to be independent and to be able to deal with. You learn to learn a lot of skills to be able to be independent. For example, speaking skills, negotiating skills, how to choose an apartment, how to balance a budget, what else? Cooking, for example, taking care of your computer, choosing a university, and also the professions. The professions are very important.